Good evening and welcome everybody to the Roxy Files. Let's see. There's Mike. Hey, Mike. Give it a minute and let everybody get in the room. What's the weather like at your house, Mike? It has rained here since yesterday. Just a cold, drizzling mess. It's just a want to go lay down and take a nap kind of day. It was so dreary. I didn't pay attention to what the skies looked like yesterday. Hey, Super Dave. How's your weather, Super Dave? You said you were back home. It's just been a draggy day around here. Good day to get some research done, though, which is what I did a good portion of the day. I thought we would bring up the whole parasite conversation again and see. Hey, Carol, see if anybody had any questions. I've been looking into some other because, like I said, I think we've all been kind of questioning where the ivermectin is made or who might be making it, or I don't know. We're just not generally trusting people anymore. But white pine needles, you can look up white pine needles as an anti-parasitic, and it'll tell you exactly how to do it. It's very, very simple. Make it at home, then you don't have to worry about where it's coming from. Rained all night and most of the day. Yeah, been cold and rainy here, Mike. Y'all, I have flowers blooming, like blooming, blooming. I got up this morning and it was so dreary, and I looked out the kitchen window and there's a big bush. I'm not even sure what kind it is, but it has got these beautiful flowers on it. So when I walked out the kitchen door, I was looking at it, and like the whole bush is covered with blooms that are ready to just pop open. It's the beginning of December. We had freezing temperatures here, like 26 degrees last week. That's crazy. Why in the world is flowers blooming in the winter? I don't know. That kind of got my brain down a whole rabbit hole. And does anybody else feel like the day is not the right length of time anymore? I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like maybe the day goes by too fast or it goes too slow, that it's not consistent. Just a question, because we know so many things have been manipulated. If you could trick people into thinking, this is a theory now, if you could trick people into thinking that they had only worked 8 hours, but it was actually 10, because you changed the concept of time, would you get more labor out of the human by falsifying day and night? And is that why you have to paint the sky to change the weather? Sorry, guys. I know it kind of went off a rail there for a second, but just one of those theories I was working out in my brain. Because I don't know. Yeah, it is, Carol. It's like flying. It was like it was just Halloween, and now it's Thanksgiving, and now we're headed toward Christmas. And I know a lot of people say that it's because we spend more time indoors, is one thing. I get some of that, but I don't know. We know the system has been engineered against us, so to speak. So if you one of the things I was running through my brain today when I was thinking about all these natural cures and the things around you that are the best for you, and you don't have to worry about anybody interfering or changing. Go back in history to the people that were persecuted for making those herbal remedies because somebody else wanted to control it. And remember, you see in the old westerns where the guy come around with the wagon and he was selling snake oil, and you had pharmacies. The control of it was profitable. So if the old lady in the woods knew how to make it, of course you would persecute her, because people in history who were trying to give it away for free, whatever that information would be, and not profit from it, were always pushed down so that profit could be made. Because we've had this conversation about the hemp industry, and it applies to everything else. So that's why it applies so much to the things that would actually heal our body. Some days fly by, and then you have a day here and there that seems to be longer. At least it does. It's like just I was looking at pictures of my grandbabies from a couple of years ago, and they just and I know they're at the age where they're making such, big growth changes, but it's like, oh my gosh, they just seem like such babies a couple of years ago. And it's like you looked up and 5 years was gone. And I don't know, maybe it's been the flood of information, uh, the awakening. I don't know what you want to call it, but something has definitely changed our concept of day and night, or length of day and night, or length of cycle. I don't know. It's like the cycles have been changed because I don't know. I mean, I grew up here, and I know that I was born and raised right where I'm at. I literally graduated high school in the same town I live in now. I've only moved like one time, one town over. Um, the weather here seems different. It just does, and I don't know if that is from the perspective of a young adult or a child versus now, and temperature intolerances and everything else, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem the same. Maybe that's a growing older thing. I don't know. I remember we had really intense summers here as a kid, like heat-wise and humidity, and now that's very brief. And, like, our wintertime, most of the time, it was very tolerable. Once in a while, you would have a storm blow through in, like, February and, drop a little snow, like, once every 10 years. Now it's every time you turn around, our roads are iced up, and I'm not complaining about it, I'm just saying the weather has changed, and the only thing that stays constant is change. I get that. I don't know. Just thinking out loud, guys. Anybody got any ideas on that? Sorry, I had to get something to drink. Um, Shannon is not with us tonight. Shannon is working. She is trying to get her job done. She has a big job that she does ever so much. She's a hairdresser, and this one takes 3 days to do. I don't think I could sit through 3 days of getting my hair done. It wouldn't. That is too much for me. Just too much. I don't want to leave the house 3 days in a row. I just don't, because the world seems so busy. Everybody's in a hurry. And I was born here in the South. Like I said, born and raised here in the South. We don't get in a hurry. Like when I was growing up, the only time you was in a hurry is you was street racing. I mean, other than that, you was just bumping along with nowhere to be. You, you know, you had a curfew, be home by that time. And I remember as a kid or a teenager driving to work at the beach because I worked at the motels, and traffic was heavy, but it wasn't horrendous. Now, on a holiday of Friday, July 4th at Myrtle Beach, you were going to have heavier traffic. And we didn't have bypass roads then. Well, now we got bypass roads and you got bumper to bumper traffic. I'm from a small town. I say small, it ain't small no more. Myrtle Beach has migrated its way, the actual housing portion of it has migrated its way all the way out into the country where I was born and raised. And, like, where I'm sitting at now, there's 700 houses or these tiny house cabin deal things going in right across the road. I understand the world's changing, but it seems like it's flying by. Like, my daughter tonight was talking about, putting stuff up for the kids for the holidays. I'm like, "If you're gonna do it, you better get on it, because the next thing you know, it's gonna be here." We done zoomed through Halloween, and we've zoomed through Thanksgiving. We didn't even slow down for Thanksgiving. Not that I wanted to celebrate it anyway, but we didn't even slow down for that. We were moving, we had stuff to do. But everybody's in a hurry. I left my house today and traveled 21 miles from my house to the farm. So I had somebody blow the horn at me 3 times. I'm like, "Dude, I'm going like 4 or 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. If you were in that big of a hurry, you should have left home earlier. You should have been more prepared. Now, if you have an emergency, you should have your flashers on and I would move over." Come on, Carol. It's nice down here most of the year. Like July 4th, you will feel like the world has ended if the humidity is bad. I don't know where you're from. Aren't you from Tennessee, Carol? Can't remember. The wintertime, they're usually decent winters here. But, like, we done had 26-degree weather and got flowers blooming. This is why I'm questioning if the concept of time has been changed. Anyway, sorry, we was gonna talk about, natural remedies today, and my I've always been interested in this, but there are so many things around you that have all these benefits. Everything that they sell you, that they have to go get an education to sell to you, um, are made from natural substances. They figured out that this natural substance was taken by this group of people when they had an upset stomach. So they go and break it down molecularly and figure out what it is in there that counteracts whatever it is in the human body. And then they synthesize it and give it to you. It's the same thing. I mean, one thing is made of the other. There is nothing new under the sun. And I agree, Mike. Kansas. What's the weather like in Kansas, Carol? But what was I saying? I'm sorry, I got distracted with the comments, y'all. My ADD is like kicking all of a sudden. But everybody's in a hurry. But they've sped life up so much with technology and convenience and everything being disposable and everything being fast and rushed. And then I've noticed with the older generations that, don't have a lot of family left or nobody's close and they sit in the house a lot and they just watch whatever's on TV. If you'll pay attention, those are the ones that are going up there to that office and saying, well, I saw on TV that if you got this symptom, and this symptom, you need to be checked for X, Y, and Z. It was on a, such and such commercial, which of course is what they're going to sell them to mask those symptoms. They're not fixing the problem. They're watering it down enough just to keep you hanging on. The term, they get after those people from below the southern border down there, and all those different countries been blowing up boats because of the things they do and how they control things. What is the difference? You just got government oversight, supposedly. It's in nature all around you. Everything may not be all around you, but I can guarantee you that within a half a mile to a mile of you somewhere, there's a few plants that you could find if you just went on a nature walk and took a Google image of them. Take a wicker basket, get you a couple of like the little plastic, the disposable Tupperware, like take out the little small ones, the sandwich size ones or whatever, so you can put 10 or 12 in there. Go on a walk. Take your container, take your phone, Google that image, and when it comes up and tells you what the plan is, then you search herbal remedies with whatever the plan is. It'll tell you what it's good for. Take that Tupperware bowl and a Sharpie, write the name of the plant on top of it and put stomach or inflammation. Put it in your basket. Keep walking. Find you another flower. Find another plant. I can tell you about 1,000,000 of them that are fantastic for you. But one of the reasons my questions about the weather was as I'm going into this greenhouse thing, I realized that plants that may be widely available naturally, around me may not be so around you. So you need to find out what grows in your area and what's good for you and your needs. I did see a thing today about it's called Apothecary at Home, and it actually already comes with dried herbs and everything you need. I'll have to look it up and check out the company. I'm not going to give you the name of it till I find out who owns it and what it is. I don't believe in nothing until I check them out. Because if I can't trust you, I ain't gonna trust what you putting in them bags and it's telling me one thing when it's not. Biggie, the fog is here. I haven't been outside in a couple hours. I'm in the shop. I came over to the farm to take a break from moving. I just needed to get out the house because it's at the point now where we're pulling stuff, out bucket by bucket, keep and toss, and it just seems like it's everywhere. Just trying to get rid of disposable things. That's the part of my disposable convenience that they have made life so easy with all of this stuff to just mask the symptoms. Because if what you were taking was fixing the problem, you wouldn't need a refill. If the light bulb you were buying would work as big a quality as what they said, they would only sell a third a minute. There's an act, I think it was back in the 20s, it's called the Obsolescence Act or something. I have to go back and read it. Um, I looked it up one time, and I think it was light bulb makers that, there was a few of them, and they were like, "Well, our light bulbs are too good. We've outdone each other, and we're only selling them one light bulb. It's gonna last a lifetime." So they agreed to make it so it would only last so long, so you would have to replace it. The cheaper and less quality it has, the more you're going to have to replace it. And all this stuff has got to go somewhere and it's going in a trash dump. Because I'm telling you, when I moved the other day, it was an obscene amount of furniture that had been not I had obtained. Well, one of them was me. In a hurry, I bought a bed frame from Amazon, like $39, just a metal frame, get you off the floor. When I moved in to the other place, because my bed wouldn't fit, I put it together with Allen screws. It come in a box. When we went to move the other day, it was so flimsy and disposable. When we started taking it, out, that the screw stripped and half the holes were messed up. So I just chunked it. I mean, it's not like I got a scrap metal pile. Well, actually, we do at the farm, but I wasn't bringing it over here for that. You know what I mean? It was just aggravating. And if anything they sold us actually fixed the problem, you would never have to buy it again. So selling you the cure is no profit. And I know I've probably said some words outside of the lexicon, but I mean, I'm telling you the truth. If it was fixing it, they wouldn't need to sell it to you. You need to go, anybody out here who's watching, I know there's only a few here tonight, go look at who writes the textbooks for public education, who writes the textbooks for medical schools, who pays the big grants for all the medical research at these medical schools. And then, all the money just funnels back up top. That's why we got a 1%. Yep, I'm outside of the lexicon, but I'm having one of them evenings where I don't know, just kind of aggravated. We were and not in a bad way. We were in here listening to some music, some new music that Willie had found, and it was older songs from, like, the 80s and 90s. Generation X, Go Us, was listening to, and it was the kind of thing that you just sung along with back then. You kind of knew the words, you never paid it attention. You just bebopped along, let it program you right on and right on. And we were listening to it, and I'm like, really? Because this new guy has taken them and slowed them way down, and and he's singing it, and he's got a good voice, but his album cover has thrown me off a little bit as to whether I want to say his name out loud or promote it until I figure out, because there's something off of the album cover. He was on an award show the other night and he sung Stand By Me. But I mean, he's got a heck of a voice and he's come out of nowhere. But I don't know. But there was a song and it's called, I think it's Hunger Strike. The words of the song. Like, it's the things that we have seen the light about now. These are people in the music industry that was verbatim putting it in their music back then. And if you listen to it and understand it now, you're like, holy cannoli. They were sitting right there telling us. And, it tells you they don't have to deceive us. They're putting it out there. They just kind of make fun of it. And when you think of that along the lines of all the supernatural things that you've ever been convinced of that was crazy. And when they do that, they get people thinking that supernatural things are not possible, angels and demons and that stuff's not possible. It's all in the movies, it's all in the comic books. What better way to turn you away from the man upstairs? What better way to turn you away from God than to have you believe in aliens more than you do him? Because supernatural stuff doesn't exist. That's because they're using it to their advantage. Everything they tell you no should be yes. I mean, not everything, but you know what I'm saying. Up is down. So, in a general sense of thought, when we're going through discernment of looking at things, let's make sure we're looking at the up and the down. Flip it, rotate it, look at it from 50,000 foot. Um, I don't have the link because I'm at the farm and I've only got one screen. I told you guys I'd do a show, and I'm going to keep it short because I got a lot on my mind. Willie and I had a very deep conversation a while ago, and I kind of want to go think about it because it was heavy. But go do some research. Go for a walk in the woods. Get to know yourself a little better. Let go of the things that you're letting eat at you. And that's kind of part of the parasite thing. You got to remove the parasites from your body as well as your soul. And taking accountability for your own actions. You got to let stuff go. Don't let the past haunt you, because I can promise you the windshield's bigger than the rearview mirror. That's what my daddy said. You need to see where you're going. If you always focused on where you've been, you're never going to figure out where you're going. And you've missed all the beautiful sights along the way because you was watching that rearview mirror. Plus, you didn't see somebody slam on brakes in front of you and you hit them and look, insurance claim. Anyway, I mean, it's full circle. But I'm trying to investigate what will grow best here because um, I've seen quite a few of the hearings today on how they're putting that sticky pokey thing in the vegetables. So I think we're going to start out in the greenhouse with some vegetables that we know where they come from and how they were grown. And I'm not a big vegetable eater, but I have family that is, and I would rather them be eating what I grew than what they buy at the grocery store. Hey, Shannon. She's on a tiny break. You want to say I miss you already? I miss you too, bestie. It's been like 2 quiet days, and I didn't want to bother you because you was at work, girl. I know you on your hustle. I was letting you hustle on. I was unpacking and having deep thought. You've left me alone. I've had deep, deep thought today. Don't count the days, make the days count. Absolutely. Make them count. Spread the word. Talk to somebody. I mean, the holidays are coming up. Connection with other people is important. And don't isolate yourself so much that you forget that. I understand sometimes it's hard for us to fit in and blend in because we just don't accept anything. Um, but remember to keep trying to make that connection to people. That's important. We're supposed to be a community, and that was part of the thing behind this is division. That's why they're always pushing the left, right, red, blue, white, black, gay, straight. Everything is about division. The more they drive us apart, the more we isolate, the more we turn to these screens. If you don't have a physical person to connect with, spend more time connecting with nature. Study the book and make sure you got the whole book, not just an edited piece of the book. Because there's other pieces of the puzzle that I'm starting to put together. And Shannon, I need to text you tomorrow because I need some. I don't know if you've shipped my thing yet or not, but I need to ask you a question. But anyway, when you take a break tomorrow, text me. We'll talk about it. Um, I don't know. As I've got so interested in this Ethiopian Bible, I started going and reading some things I had never read before. And not only do I think they have distorted, they left a lot of the story out. They only put the part of the story in that made them look like, the good guy. Kinda like, the little man with the mustache, and I saw another one today about, Gaddafi, and when you start actually realizing what some other people had in their country versus, it's they've only told us what they wanted to know, so not only did they twist it, they just completely left parts out. Even if they told you the truth, they left a chunk out that helped you understand the story, is what I'm getting at. They went straight from A to C. You just assumed that C happened because you took the supernatural part out. And this is all to do with Noah and the flood. I don't know why Noah is on my list of things I'm continually trying to understand, because I try to take everything from a geological geography, minerals in the ground at certain spots. What's the dirt like there? I look at that and then I'm trying to compare it to historical things in the Bible, because I feel like if there's enough money put into the right pockets, they'll say anything. And it doesn't matter if it's about, red or blue. It can be about geology or history or archaeology. I'm trying to figure it out for myself. I need to make everything line up because everything leaves a mark. And that Ethiopian Bible has a lot of things in there, and they're very interesting. And it appears to me that every time they've ever told us in a comic book or a cartoon or some movie that supernatural things weren't real, and if you believed in stuff like that, you were fit for a straitjacket, up is down. They weren't profiting off telling you not to believe in it, so what were they getting out of it? They were trying to control it for themselves. So the more we become aware that it is very, very possible and real, and there are no coincidences in life. Um, I watched a video the other day. It is on Rumble. It is called Snow Talk. I will post it in my community. Listen to the words. It it'll I don't know. Just listen if you're interested. It's a trip through a very, very cold place. Um, and it's a very deep conversation. But be aware of everything that you are consuming, whether it be food and water or the clothes on your back. There's no fear to be had. Don't fear it. Be vigilant. Have discernment. They want you to fear because we know they feed off of it. So don't fear. Just be aware. Be educated. Be knowledgeable about what is and isn't in that product. Um, Looked at something today that possibly they're selling to people that own a particular type of vehicle for $50 and $60 for 2 gallons. Come to find out it's just water and two Alka Seltzers. Who knew? Go look at the ingredients. I guarantee you, when you see what some of the ingredients are and then go research that ingredient, it'll change your mind about consuming it. And it's getting real hard to buy food that you don't have to think about it before you consume it. So I think it's time to start growing it. Um, I'm going to be posting some stuff in community about some parasite cleanses, some heirloom gardening, um, some links to maybe some, different weather forecast of what's good where and when if you don't know, and maybe some stuff about how to grow it in small spaces. But I'm going to try to start getting that stuff together for you. I'm going to go for the evening, guys. I got something I need to go think about, but I'm glad you came. Not going to keep you long tonight. Shannon and I will probably be back Thursday night on her show. Daniel will be on tomorrow afternoon, I'm assuming. Haven't heard anything different. But hope everybody has a good evening. Make sure you're praying. Make sure you got the full armor of God on. Be grateful. And make sure you tell yourself that I am beautiful. I am grateful. I am blessed because it can change your world, and it's well worth it. Okay, guys. I don't want to be Debbie Downer tonight, so have a good evening. I will see you all Thursday night, and I'll be more giggles and fun then.